can come as close as you when you hear the wind blows, but through this unstoppable storm of love remains, it drives me insane. I feel we got so far in the game, now everything's on fire. How to make it come again? We're crashing like a plane, and they say no rainbow if no rain, no rainbow if no rain, no rainbow if no rain.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the third installment of the Hejrino talk series. Today we are here with dear Elahe, who took the educational route to the beautiful country Finland. And Mrs. Elahe, give us an introduction about yourself. That would be pretty much appreciated.
Hey, my name is Torayo, but everyone calls me Elahe. I'm a master's student of Business and Technology here in Tampere University. I studied my bachelor's back in Iran in the field of industrial management engineering. I finished my study there at 2020, and I'm on the second year of my master's here in Finland, Tampere.
Of course, wow. That is really something that many people in our country wish for. I hope that you had a lot of fun. I know you learned a lot of things. So straight up to the questions, as you know, many people these days have two ways. They either take the educational route or the career route. As someone who took the educational route, we wanted to know a bit about your background, because, you know, people who want to follow your footsteps, they want to know that, you know, what did you do? So give us a educational background, and we really appreciate that.
Obviously I studied mathematics during high school, but I decided to pursue my bachelor's in the industrial engineering. So after doing the university entrance exam, I entered Gilan University, a beautiful province in our country. But the decision of moving abroad, it was way before then, like it was somehow sort of my childhood dream. So I know that the easiest way would be to apply for master's, because you already have some foundation and you have more experience. You communicate with like certain professors during university. So I decided to pursue my master's. So for me, it was like I tried to be really dedicated for my studies, and I studied hard for my bachelor's. I got a really high GPA, around 4.6 or 5. Then for the last 2 years, I decided to study for IELTS exam. Then I take my IELTS exam in the last year. It was around like 2022. So I took my exam then. Unfortunately, I couldn't apply at the same year that I graduated. So I decided to take a year off and work at the same time. While I was working and I was planning my how to apply and how make my plan to say, okay, what's going to happen next year. For me, it was I had some vision that, okay, I'm gonna pursue my master's. This year is going to be for just applying for university. And I was so stressed, because I was like, okay, I might not get into university. So I applied for 30 university, and I got the chance of I got a success. I have a success rate of 95%. I applied, and I got the admission from most of the universities that I applied for. So my choice was Finland. So because I got the scholarship there. So do I need to talk about the options that I had?
Of course, but before that, this route that you took also, I think, got to a point where you took an internship. Is that right? Internship in another country? You said mentioned before? Of course. We want to know about that. That would be appreciated.
Sure. Last year, it was a time that I had the summer and I had to do something. So my plan was like to do an internship, but it is extremely hard to find an internship is in Finland, because their internships are usually like paid and they're really competitive. So unfortunately, I couldn't get any offer from Finnish companies. But during my search, I found like, okay, Erasmus has some sort of job internships that you can get the job offer. Then you can ask the Erasmus department of your university that, okay, I have this job offer. Can I get the like some funding? So it's just a living expense. I applied from different countries across the Europe, and I got one good job offer from Poland, and I decided to move to Poland for 4 months and work as a business developer intern.
Wow, what a lovely experience. How was Poland? I think it's a nice little country, is that right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful country, especially during summer. People are nice, and although they're not good in English, like they're not fluent as Finnish people. But yeah, it was such a great experience. They were like, okay, I had some funding, like I got something that so I was just like, okay, let's just explore other cities around. So I went to Warsaw and Wrocław, different cities in Poland, and I myself I was working in Krakow. It's a beautiful and historical city and a lot of places of interest.
Wow, lovely stuff. So that was the educational background, the most common route that people take these days because it's financially more possible for our youngsters. The next question that is asked, as you know, Iranians these days tend to do a lot, and I mean a lot of emigration because the country's situation is not really pleasant. So the question that we have is that among these two common countries that Iranians really choose, like Germany and Italy, what made you pick Finland? Do you think it was like the only option, or no, you had some preferences that led you to choose this country, or what was the reason?
Well, for me, like I had like a really big picture. Apart from Europe, it was like Canada, USA, Australia, and I was like, okay, too expensive. UK is too expensive. I just omitted that from because you have to pay tuition fee and living expenses as well. So it's a lot of financial burden as an Iranian. Then I focused on Europe, like a bit smaller scale. So it was like, okay, northern countries are really good. The high quality of life, higher salaries, and also like higher living expenses. Then it would be like Central Europe and like Western. I was like, okay, let's just apply for let's just focus on some certain countries. I applied for Italian university. I think I applied for like 4 universities in Italy, and I got admission from 3 of them.
Nice.
Then I was like, okay, I applied some universities in Netherlands. Also applied some of them in the hope of getting this scholarship in UK, Sweden and Finland. These were like the countries that I put my focus on. So I had an option for Italy because you can get the a scholarship and living expenses from the government. So but it was something that really concerned me about Italy is like people are not fluent in English, and it's really like exhausting because you have to go to there is bureaucracy to get your visa, to get your resident permit, and all of this needs clear communication in English, and that was serious for me. So
yeah, exactly.
Then I didn't apply for like German universities because also like knowing German is essential, and the one other thing that just prevented me from choosing Germany was the high queue of waiting for visa and that sort of thing. But I was more at the last month. I was more hesitating between Sweden and Finland. I applied for Finnish university and I got admission from all of them. And I got one admission from Lund University. Is like the it is in the like 18th university ranking around the world. So it was really good. But I had to pay the tuition fee there. It was like 14,000 euros for a year, and plus the living expenses. So it was like it was my dream, but I was like, okay, it's too much financial burden. Then at the last moment, I got admission from Finnish University, Tampere University, with the full scholarship. So I liked the studies, like it was the field that I liked, and the only thing that I had to concern is the living expenses, and I think last year was 7,000 euro and something around. The plus point about Finland is you put money for 1 year of like showing that you are able to support yourself financially. Then you get the resident permits of 2 years. So that's a great option.
Yeah, it's a good deal, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Of course. So you mentioned the reason you didn't apply for German or Italy that much hard is because you were worried about the language barrier and the fact that there is need for a clear communication. And we all know that German and Italian people are not really welcoming towards the English language because they want their people who immigrate to speak their own native language. So the question here is that what about countries like Sweden or Finland? Because we all know that even the Finland has the Finnish language and people speak that. Don't you think wasn't that a problem for you, or no? Everyone speak English because we're not aware of that.
You mean language barrier? Finnish language is indeed one of the hardest language in the world. But the thing is, Nordic countries, like from Norway, from Denmark, and all these Nordic countries, they all are fluent in English. They have their own language, but as a second language, they learn English, and they are extremely sometimes the people say I'm not fluent in English, and they even talk fluently, better than me, and I'm like, okay, what was that? And I think the best thing is even the cashier speaks better than me, and sometimes okay, that's inspiring.
Yeah, they're Europeans. All of them have a English vein which helps them. That they're okay. And you have immigrated to Finland. One of the questions, we talked to the people who went to Italy. What is interesting? They mostly said food and the sightseeings. People went to Germany. We asked them. They said the country is really decent when it comes to business and just general money earning. So what is about Finland? What really attracted you? What did you love about Finland? Can you say that? Because that's one of the things that draws people.
I think the equality here is great. That they really have a high value for each person should be treated it doesn't matter you're a foreigner or something like that. It's rarely happened to me to face with any racism. It happened couple of times with drunk people, but they were drunk. But equality is something really a thing here. And then I would say it's not much sightseeing, but if you are dream of seeing Northern Light, it's the best country. It's one of the best country. I've seen it a couple of times and it's amazing. And the salaries are quite high, and you have the job prospects. Foods are not.
Of course. No, that is lovely. Wow, isn't the cold a problem? Because when it comes to these countries like Finland or Iceland, one thing that comes to mind is like the cold weather. Many people say, no, we cannot deal with that. We cannot live in a country with minus 20 degrees. Isn't that a bother?
I'm gonna say that with the right clothes and right boots and that sort of thing, the cold weather is not something that you say, okay, that's torturing, or no, it is not, because yes, there is always snow in the winter and long winter. You as you if you have to know, but the most irritating thing is short days. It's not like it's 6 month day and six months night. It's not like this, but during December and January, days are extremely short. Like the sun rises around like 9 a.m. and the sun sets around like 3 p.m. 3 starts getting dark as 3 p.m. So it's quite hard in that sense. Also, one more thing that it might be really irritating, that people are super reserved here. Like I as an Iranian, I'm super open. I tend to talk with different people. Like it's our nature to be hospitable.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it comes to Finnish people, they're super nice, but at the same time, it's really hard to be friends with them. So yeah, that might be something really challenging here.
Of course. So you say they're cold because I heard that about people who live in Iceland. I thought they are a bit harder to communicate, and that's not even with the immigrants. They are cold to each other, as it was mentioned 2 episodes ago. So do you think that's a thing? This being cold is in their nature?
Yeah, I think like it really went back to the like years ago that they had to live together. Like few people, they had like some colony and just only few people, and they had to just trust few people of like their family, otherwise they were going to be dead. So that nature it kept being with them from past from now. So yes, I would say like cold weather is a part of that. And like there like few people can survive in northern countries, so there's not that much. Like Finland has like 5 million people population, so that you can imagine that's how like people like the population is not that much.
Of course. So we get to a certain question, which is an interesting one. As you know, Iran is a country with an extremely rich culture, and the people mentality, like thousands of years, our people have been welcoming and lovely. But the question here is that we have so many ceremonies, as you can see, so many traditions. We want to know if that's the same thing about Finland. From the moment you moved abroad to Finland, we want to know if you encountered any extremely fun tradition, anything like good ceremonies, holidays, something cool like that. Have you encountered that? Because we Iranians are used to that stuff.
I would say the funnest thing that I experienced in Finland is the Vapu, is the 1st of May, and it's more like a student-oriented thing, but whole town is there, are participating. Everyone is out. The weather is nice. Finally, summer.
Okay.
And it's like each city has their own thing, but for me, as being a part of student community, certain like we say guild, like each group of people or each field of study has their own guild. It's like some association. And some association has like this tradition of dipping people in the water. There's a really big, it's really fun. Maybe we could just share the photo of the dipping, maybe in the video I could send that.
Wow, yeah, we can put it. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think many people now want to know how does it look. That would be interesting.
And the Pyhä is going to stream now. New Teekkaris are coming back from there. New Intel Teekkaris.
the Tampere has like a really big river, like in the middle of the city, and during Whirlpool, around like 10 or 12 guild, like a student association, has this tradition that the first year you're foxy, it means that you're like freshman. Then when you finish the first year, you get to be dipped in order to be tekkari. Tekkari means like engineering student, something like that. So when you finish your first year, you sign up for dipping and you wait a long queue, like around like 10 people go to a like a not box, but it's like a cage, and you go there and you go there and with some sort of mining, those sort of I don't remember the word in English, but there's they put you with some sort of machinery into the water, and they keep dipping you and then pulling you out of the water for a few times, and then you're gonna be like a tekkari.
Oh wow!
It's really fun, and you get to like open up. We opened up. It should be champagne, but it's like we did like a sparkling wine, and when we were like dipping at the same time, so it was really fun.
Wow, so it's a lovely ceremony, you would call that, is that right?
Yeah, WAPPU, WAPU.
Wow, that would be mentioned in the video. I think our audience would appreciate some photos as well, because it sounded really extremely fun. Yeah, make sure to, send those over. We want to move on from the country questions and the questions related to the country here. We just want to know, what is the one thing that you enjoy the most living in Finland? Because this question was asked from our audience. Many people say a specific stuff. For example, some people say food for Italy, because Italy is rich when it comes to food. If we say Germany, they say people are kind. That's like one thing. We want to know, what about Finland? One thing to go there and enjoy ultimately would be appreciated.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I know.
Because Finland is not that it's not a old country. So like Italy and that countries, but I'm gonna say, if you go to Finland in winter and you go straight to Lapland, you can enjoy the beautiful, colorful aurora that you could ever imagine. And there's like a Santa Claus house there in Lapland as well. So yeah, that would be like one thing that you could just enjoy just being there. I myself, I'm not like I'm not planning to go to Lapland, because it happened to me to see the Northern Light here in Tampere. But maybe the best thing here in Tampere is the student life.
The student life, wow. We will add that to our most interesting things. It's really good. It's like one big billboard of ad for people who tend to immigrate. One good thing about immigration. Now, next question is that, as you know, our audience, people who watch these videos, are the people who want to walk in your footsteps, and they also want to immigrate. But one of their biggest worries is the currency. As you know, Iranian currency these days is extremely unvaluable, something just absolutely worthless. So turning it to dollars or euros, it makes it even more useless and unvaluable. So what we want to know is that, how do you think the cost of living compare? How much someone can earn, get a room, for example, accommodations, food? Because for the last conversations that we had, people said 1,000 euros per month is enough, and you can even save if you just have a little room. What about Finland? Is it more, or is it less, or equal?
I would say around, like, if you like live really like in a if you be really like saving, you can have around like 700 euros to 1,000 euro. So this kind of like change according to your lifestyle. But I can just narrow down the prices, like the expenses that I have, like the rent that I pay, the grocery. Well, I pay my rent around like 300 euros and 27. So it's quite cheap. here in Finland.
For a house or for a room? Sorry to interrupt, because those were...
Per month.
I know, but like for a house or for a room? Because in Italy it was like 400 euros for just a room, a single room. I want to know that.
Oh no, there's like here in a student accommodation you don't have to pay extra for media like the electricity and that sort of stuff. So I also have the internet, like the facility that I like the building has like laundry that which I don't pay for, it just free.
Oh.
There is sauna. I forget to mention that like sauna is a really Finnish thing. It's free sauna that you could. It has a gym, free internet, electricity. All of this is like the rent is 327 euro for like all the media that we have. Also, my friends, I live in a furnished apartment, and my friends who live in non-furnished, they bought their stuff. They live around 200 euros and 70 euros, 270 euros. So that's also quite nice. They also have the same thing, like same facilities with that amount of money. And for groceries, it could be really depends on where to buy. Lidl is the cheapest option, but I can't say that how much I pay monthly. Maybe around like, I don't know, 300 euros or something for groceries. And the best thing, one of the best thing about Finland is you get, when you're a student, your lunch in the university is only 2.95 euros, and you have the variety of options for like from salad, from you can get like you can choose between two foods. So 3 euros, it's really cheap if you consider to the groceries, buying groceries. It's really cheap in Finland as a student, so that's something that is really good about here. Also, I paid, if you get a monthly transportation here, you have to pay around 45 euros. This is a bit high, and also it depends on if you want to like do some fun activities. It really depends on that's really varies. Like you like bowling, you partying. It really depends on how's your lifestyle.
So I think just as the other countries, if you earn 1,000 euros per month sharp, I think you will be able to save up. Is that right?
Yes, as even you work part-time, you earn at least part-time. It means like 20 hours per week. You're gonna make like that 1,000 euros, and it's a student price that the 300 and something is the student accommodation, but nobody here like paying like 1,000 euros. It's like it's not legal to earn that much here. Maybe part-time, yes, but the thing is the minimum wage is around 2,000 euro, and it really again depends on what sort of job you do. 2,000 euro and 200 or 500. It really depends on what you do. Like some general job even get to pay like 3,000 euros. It's really like delivery. If you work as a delivery, like with the car, you can make that much money. So yeah, it's like that. And for also like I think for like more specific jobs and as an engineer, you get to pay around 2,000 euros and 800 or higher. From that, it start from that. So the salaries are quite high here.
Oh, that is perfect. So you can have an extremely high life quality if that's the case. I think, wow, I didn't know that. That is
money.
Yeah, I mean, that is insane. If you can earn up to 3,000 euros and your expenses end up at like 1,000, that is, wow, that is locked right now in Iran.
Yeah.
It's just not possible at all. No. Average wage here is like 200 euros. Yeah, 200 euros maximum in the office work. Okay, well, let's stop talking about our own despairs. Okay, this next question. As you know, many people who emigrate or move abroad, as you mentioned before, as you said, some people are a bit racist, but sometimes the issue is inside yourself. You think that you are second-rated citizen. You know, when you go to another country, you see the native people. They're not much different from you, but you just have that feeling that you are second-rated. Have you ever had this feeling? If yes, how did it feel? How did you cope with it? Or if not?
That's a really good question. Well, the first month I was here, I felt so
Irrelevant?
irrelevant to the Finnish people because I had this really different background and my culture was something else. Here is something else. People haven't even experienced the traumas that I experienced. Even I felt a bit like I had like some existentialism crisis, but I extremely suggest that come here for a reason. Come here for education, come here for work, not for being asylum here. Why? Because when you enter university, you are joining a community that you feel connected to them. You are feeling that, okay, I have some impact in the this goddamn universe. So when you feel that you are beneficial for something, you're doing something, you're not gonna feel that, okay, I'm so different from people. Maybe you feel sometimes, but I think it's really when you're doing something, when you're communicating with people, it's that feeling is not hunting you down or like beating you up. So when you enter, you might feel that like I'm alone, I'm isolated, but you need to communicate with people. You need to be active in the society, like in even going to the parties, communicating, like being a part of like some events, some, I don't know, something that's maybe it's not that important. And when you meet with people from you even find people from different backgrounds and they're doing the same thing as you. So I think that is going to make you feel that, okay, I feel belong to the society. And I think, yeah.
Okay, so you need to kind of find somewhere to like a purpose so that you feel belong. Okay, it's on yourself.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. Yeah, it does. Okay, so we move on to next question. As you know, many people these days they have this mindset of emigrating to Europe so that they make a bridge out of Europe to US or UK or Canada. So my question is that what do you think? What are you planning? Is this also a bridge for you, or you think you will continue to live in Finland even afterwards your education is over?
That's nice. For me, life has been so unpredictable that, okay, I don't know what I'm going to end up after my studies. I'm planning to at least build up my career here in Finland, to at least being a bit stable, maybe get my passport here. Then maybe it's going to be after like 5 years, if the situation wasn't like giving me that much benefit that I wanted. I don't know, I was thinking about US, but in general I've heard that people go to Italy, then move to another country, as people usually go to Netherlands. But yes, that could be some sort of a bridge to go to another country, because when you're in Europe, you can easily apply for different jobs across Europe. I apply for like jobs in Sweden. It's remote, but it's possible. It's easier to get a job here in Europe when you're inside and you're residing here than when you're outside of Europe. So yes, there could be an option if you don't have the financial situation to go straight to UK, Canada, Europe. It could be a good option.
Mm-hmm. So you suggest first making a good career path for yourself, something rather more stable, then committing the US or UK. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, next question that worries many of our dear immigrants and people who go abroad is that, as you know, Iranian people have an extremely heavy and hefty bond with their families. Families are lovely, they grow to each other, and you know, they're so close generally, like Italian people, as I've heard before. So, how did this immigration impact your life? Did you fall out of place with your friends or family? Was it hard for you, or no? You just dealt with it, or you just want to know about that?
Like communicating and having the same lifestyle.
Generally, did it cause any traumas for you to just leave your family behind, or no? You didn't feel like that at all.
Well, I didn't actually. I'm not just limiting myself to be friends with Iranian, but there is a problem with connecting with the people from own country. I'm not saying that Iranian are usually bad or like really perfect, but we have a big community in Iran, and you get to choose your friends from a lot of people. Like I have my best friends, my dear friends in Iran, and I couldn't like change them with a word. But here, you come to the smaller society of Iranian, especially in Finland, and there are few people, and you can't maybe that few people couldn't be your best friend. You couldn't have the best society that you had back in Iran. So if you even find one friend that you're really close, you've been lucky. And because there is like different people from different background coming to the like Persian society in one country, it doesn't mean that all of them are like great for like making a deep connection. So I would say like maybe a challenge is to find your own people. It doesn't matter from your same nation or like it's international. So yeah.
So, what about your family? I mean, like parents, I don't know, uncles. Was it hard for you to, change a continent? And, did it hard? Because for some people, I've seen many people change their mind completely about immigration just because they thought, okay, this is leaving my family behind. This is, the distance between them and their parents was so hard. What about that? Did it bother you at any point or no?
Well, at first, I just wanted to get out of the country. You know, you have you every like young person when dealing with their problem, they say, okay, I just want to get out of the country.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was some sort of independent as I studied in another city for my bachelor's, but during those time I just came back every like 3 weeks, so there was still like some connection, that deep connection. It still is, but like I was not fully independent. I love my family, and we have the great connection. When you're far from your family, your relation suddenly gets better. But yeah, I was joking.
Of course, yeah.
Then if you are fully dependent on your family and you can't imagine them being away from you, maybe moving abroad is not something the best option for you. But if you consider yourself that you could be far from your family for years or for like 2 years because you couldn't easily get a plane ticket, not that you can't, but you financially might be restricted. So you have to know that you might not be able to see your family for at least 1 year. If you have have money as much as you think you might need. So you need to consider, like I have friends that they go back to Iran and just spend a month there and just come back here, some sort of recharge their batteries. It really depends. Like immigration, moving abroad it's a unique experience for each individual that I can't say that you should come or you should not come. I haven't seen my family for 1.5 years and we are planning to visit each other, but like the situation is not getting better. I'm not saying financially, but like
Of course.
yeah, you know.
I know,
But
we
this
know.
is something that you definitely need to take into the consideration.
Yes, it's interesting that this situation that is getting a bit, the more dangerous is really concerning for everyone,
Yeah.
and we fully understand that. Okay, so one thing you mentioned in your previous answer, it's one of the things that concerns many immigrants from, which is really sad even to be mentioned, but it is truth, is that our last two audience also said that when you move abroad, connecting to Iranian people is not only not safe, it's not wise because some of them tend to do the scams or or they're not willing to help. It's so sad because we think that as soon as we immigrate, we have our own people there that are willing to support us, but some of them even take the money, scam you, leave you. They're so cold. As they said, even the native people here are more supportive than our own. So, what do you think about that? Is that right, or it's propaganda?
Yeah, that's true. Uh, Finnish people are willing to help you. Like I would say, like without expecting anything. First, I moved here. I had two huge luggage, and I was like trying to be a strong and independent woman. I can do it, and I was like, okay, this is not coming up to the kids. And like a Finnish man approached me and was like, "Would you let me help you?" It was like, okay, would you let me to do this, help you? And like he acted like that I was giving the permission that the first time I was in the city, like few Finnish people, when they see I had three heavy luggage, like moving, they approach me and they say, this is not something that is really common that Finnish people approach you, but when they see someone is like desperately needs for help, they help you. And when you start talking with them, they're really nice. And again, there's one thing that like when you, as a master student, you move to Finland, you have a tutor. And tutors, it really depends. Either it's Finnish or it's just international. And that tutor going to help you with each of every steps of like moving your luggage, like helping you knowing the city. For one, I had like a really helpful Finnish tutor, and it helped me a lot. He helped me a lot, and he was super nice without expecting anything.
So, what about our own people? I wanted to verify the thing that the other participants of our show mentioned. Do you think Iranian people are like that, or no? It's wrong information.
I'm not. I'm not saying that we are bad people, because generalizing it shows that it's not a really nice thing to say. That's generalize people.
Yeah, we just want to know the chances. Just the chances.
I can't say that they're like. I can't even say like a percentage of people, but you have to be careful. You have to be careful because of that like percent of society that you don't know who to trust or who you're not. But I have super helpful Iranian friends here in Finland that I have to thank them here, because they some sort of helped me to find this university. They have been really, really nice and helpful for me, and I thank them whenever I have okay, I'm so grateful for what you did. So there are people that you could have a strong connection with them, but if you're not careful, you might be harassed by people. So that says something that that also can happen.
So we should avoid generalizing it, but it's a possibility, of
Yeah.
course. I think as a possibility, it's something common for all countries because not all countries are
Yeah.
fully purified by the people. So I think there is a minimum chance of being that. Okay, next question. You took the educational route to this moving to abroad. We want to know what things you were deprived of in Iran and you weren't deprived of in Europe. What were the educational differences, if you may?
Oh, that's a nice question. Well, the thing is, in Iran, it's there you have really you're restricted. I would say that I'm gonna explain it why. Here in Finland, you have a course, you have 3 chances of getting the exam. If you fail the first exam, you still have 2 other chances. So it's giving you this freedom to choose which exam you want to take. And it's something great that about here, so you're not like, for me, like exams are super stressful, so that's a relief for me. Also here it's every like Finnish education, like teaching people to be independent. There are a lot of courses that you need to be that person who searches for everything, pass the course. Like it really also depends on which course are you taking and which, like if it's mathematics, like everything is different. If it's something more like memorizing, also that's different. For me, for my studies, it's usually like it's a project based, so it's a lot of collaboration, independent work, and there's a part of our final grades is based on the final exam. So I would say if you want to study in Finland, you need to be prepared to work independently.
So that there, and we're approaching our last questions. One of the fun questions that we ask, and it's so lovely, this question, is that if you could have one thing from Iran right now in Finland, it could be a family graduation, it could be something like an edible thing, anything you could get from your nation, what would that be?
One thing,
What do you miss the most? Yeah.
I miss the deep connection that I had. My best friends are like really, they have been super supportive for me, but I'm gonna say the deep connection that I had back in Iran, and the flow that you easily can like catch up with them. I think this is the most like important thing that I lost. There's like a part of me there in Iran, and like there's a missing part of me here.
That makes 3 of you. It's so interesting. Everyone we have interviewed so far, I myself expected them to say like something edible, I don't know, a vehicle, a gadget. Literally, all of them said family, friends, graduation. That shows how nothing can replace the Iranian gatherings and Iranian society. Wow, that is very lovely. Okay, so this question that we have is probably one of the last questions that we have. It's a question that can be thought in different ways. I don't know, something that is really bothering people in Iran, and you are our first female audience, female participants. So this is a question. As you know, women in Iran are deprived of many things. They are extremely oppressed, and some stuff are being taken away, some chances, even, just the Islamic country and its cons. So I want to know, as someone who lives in one of the most, as you said, some of the countries that literally show how equality works between men and women, and it's one of the kindergartens of feminism all over the world. We want to know how if that has helped your life, or you have even realized its effect on your life. How has it affected your life, or it has, or you have mentioned it? You want to know about that?
I think it's better to say we are really suppressed in Iran. It doesn't matter you are men or women, we all are suppressed. You guys have some sort of military thing, and we have hijab, and really there are a lot of rights that have taken away from us. But here it's so relieving. It's nobody even considers approaching you, harassing you. They are so restricted because if you harass a woman, you are going to have it has a really serious circumstance from that. So women here are really supported by the law. It's better to see it like that. And if the woman says this man is harassing me, and the right is for women, because there's not gonna say you were that, you were this. So it's in that sort of, you feel so safe, and you know that no one give themselves this audacity to make you feel unsafe. And also there is no restriction in some sort of say you have to wear this, you have to wear this. So then you just feel that okay, I'm okay, there's nobody cares what I wear. And then the winter comes and you see that okay, I have to wear a cover up because otherwise I'm gonna catch a cold. Here from every person from different gender, it doesn't matter if you are women or men, or you are queer, you have I don't know, you're lesbian, you're gay, it doesn't matter. Everyone living their own life with peace, and as long as nobody hurts you, and you don't hurt anyone, you live really in peace. And I think that's something that I'm gonna say is the main difference.
Yeah, the absence of obligatory rules is such a blessing that unfortunately we are deprived of
Yeah,
in
it
Iran,
is.
because in Iran the government's head is everywhere. You know, they want to know about anything, your beliefs, your
Yeah.
what are you wearing, what age you are, the decisions. That is lovely, and we get to our last question, and here, last but not least, we want to know your, it can be one, it can be two, it can be even more, advices for people who want to immigrate, because you know Iran is filled with people who are trying to immigrate right now. The embassy timeline is always full for a next 6 months because there's just a barrage of people who want to immigrate or move abroad. So our question is that what advices do you have generally? It can be anything.
I'm gonna say that it's not like a phase of life to immigrate to another country, but if you make that decision and you see that is going to be my personal life, to do something, to go live in a better country, to live back Iran, to have your own business there, make the decision based on what you truly believe and what your gut feeling tells you, and then be dedicated to that.
So your advice is that we should make the decision on what we really believe and avoid hearing from others or like any type of influence. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. And being dedicated, like that, this is really important, that you not, if you want something, do whatever it takes and do not harm people, whatever it takes to be 100% present for that goal.
That is lovely, and that is the end of our thank you. That is the end of our review. Thank you very much for all your honest answers. We all hope that these answers and this general conversation helps people all over our country to achieve their goals, achieve the life that they deserve and they are deprived of. And that's it for the third episode. If you have any last words to our audience, we would appreciate that, and then we will do a wrap up.
It's some sort of ending up with some like advice. Like be nice and try to respect each other boundaries. That's something that I learned from being here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, no, thank you for participating. You know, this is a newborn show, but I think we're going in the right path to guide our people to which what they deserve. Thank you for participating, and this was the third episode. See you in the fourth installment with, I think, someone from the Netherlands, and that does it.